Folks, this is Dr. Jeff Halls here at Vitality Chiropractic in Tucson, Arizona. Today I want to cover a few really quick stretches for the upper body just so you can open things up. I call this spinal hygiene, just like dental hygiene. These are just motions that you can do practically every day. I tell my patients to do this on most days of the week, which means if you miss one day, I'm not going to scold you, but otherwise your joints are meant to go through their full range of motion several times a day. So if you go through a few of these mobility drills, you're going to make sure you get that. Okay? So when we think about the upper body, or I think about the upper body, in a real quick sense, you have the chest, which will pull things in. You have rotation. There's a lot of motion in through the shoulder joints, so we want to hit that a couple ways. And then you have the back. Okay? So the first one for the pecs, basically, what you want to do is you want to keep a good neutral spine, standing upright. You can do this against a door jamb to make sure that you're standing upright as well. And then you're going to just open up the chest to the best of your ability and then close it back down. This form of stretch that I'll show you here is called an active isolated stretch. So there's going to be a strengthening component because you're opening up the chest, which means you're going to be contracting muscles to go through this stretch. I typically will go through all of these about 10 reps and hold each for about a 2-second period of time. If I'm feeling real tight, I may go through it 2 or 3 times right after I do the stretch. So I'd go through it once and then I'd go through this whole cycle again. Excuse me. Sometimes I may end up doing it 3 or 4 times a day just to make sure that I'm keeping as much motion and mobility as I can through the day. So again, that first one is just to open up the chest. We'll hold that, and we come back, and we open it up, and then we come back. Then I go into a scarecrow position, and then there's 2 stretches I'll do from this for the rotation. The first one I'll do is I'll extend my hands backwards to get some external rotation. I'll hold it for a couple seconds, and then I'll come back down. The key is I'm trying to keep a good neutral line all the way across. The other thing is if you've had some previous shoulder injuries or presently do, you need to use some caution. So if you can only open up one hand this far and the other one can go back to an extreme amount, or maybe this one goes back to here and this one only makes it here, that's okay. You just want to do what you can and then just kind of continue to work on it. Stretching will increase your mobility over time, but don't expect to stretch one time, one day, and all of a sudden have this massive ability to stretch. Nobody can do the splits overnight, okay? So you'll keep going through this one, about 10 full reps. And then from the same position, the second stretch is you're going to extend your hands downward. You hold it for that 2-second period of time, and then come back up, and then down. And again, if this is all you get, that's great. Some people can go all the way down. Key is you want a good isolated stretch through this. Your last stretch, if you keep your shoulders relaxed again, is you're going to get that posterior delt and the scapula's wing bone is going to come around in the back, and you just pull your arm across to traction it. The common mistake I see in this one is that people will raise their shoulder and then they just jam up everything in the front, and that's not really the point. You're trying to get a good stretch, a good motion as you do this one. Those stretches right there will open up the chest, it'll open up the back, and then you'll also get rotation, which is really important. One of the most common injuries that you're going to see in this office is somebody's going to come in with a rotator cuff injury, and they can have all kinds of complex issues associated with that too. Again, if you have questions or if you have complaints, use caution, consult your doctor or consult us here in the office so that we can advise you as how you should do this properly. Otherwise, these 4, I pretty much call them spinal hygiene, just meant to be done to open up, stretch, and get your body moving. So, thank you and have a great day.